For 6 years, I unlocked the cafe before sunrise. The key always stuck a little in winter. I liked that detail. It made the place feel real, not like the dream my parents described to their friends, but something built by hands that showed up daily. When we first opened, we couldn't afford staff. So I learned everything: espresso calibration, vendor negotiations, health inspections. I designed the menu, built the social media page, remembered which regular wanted oat milk without foam and which one pretended to like dark roast, but didn't. My brother visited on weekends. He had ideas, expansion plans, branding conversations. My parents called him visionary, they called me reliable. I worked without salary because hoots for the family. At first, that felt honorable. Later, it felt permanent. There were moments I almost asked about ownership. When profits stabilized. When we paid off the initial loan. When my friends bought apartments and I renewed my lease again. But every time I started the conversation, my mother would say, "You know this will all be yours one day." I never asked what all meant. The announcement came on a Tuesday afternoon after closing. My father cleared his throat like he was about to discuss a supplier issue. "We've decided to transfer the business to your brother," he said. "It makes sense legally. He's the eldest. It keeps the name intact." I waited for the rest. There wasn't one. No mention of equity, no acknowledgement of 6 unpaid years. Just reassurance that I would always have a place here. My brother smiled like he'd won something inevitable. I didn't argue. I didn't accuse. I asked when the paperwork would be finalized. 2 weeks later, it was done. I kept working for another month. Not out of obligation, out of observation. I watched how quickly atmosphere shifts when authority does. My brother rearranged furniture customers liked. He adjusted recipes slightly, for efficiency. He scheduled staff without asking their preferences. The regulars noticed. They asked me quietly if I was okay. I told them I was thinking about something new. When I finally resigned, my mother cried. My father said I was being emotional. My brother said I was free to pursue my own thing. So I did. It wasn't dramatic. I rented a small coffee cart space near the commuter station across town. Modest rent, limited menu. Just me and one part-time hire. The first morning, I expected no one. By the end of the week, I recognized half the line. They told me they missed the way the old Café used to feel. They didn't criticize my brother directly. They just described absence, the warmth, the consistency, the way their orders arrived without explanation. I didn't advertise. I didn't post anything confrontational. I just showed up the way I always had. A month later, my father visited. He didn't order immediately. He stood to the side watching. I handed drinks out by name. I asked about a customer's knee surgery. I remembered someone's daughter had started university. When the line thinned, he stepped forward. "The regulars are leaving," he said quietly. He wasn't angry, just tired. I wiped the counter with a cloth that had already seen too much use. "They left with me," I replied. It wasn't pride. It was fact. He frowned, as if the sentence had rearranged something inside him. Over the next few weeks, numbers confirmed what he'd sensed. The cafe's revenue dipped steadily. Online reviews mentioned something different. My cart, small as it was, began to outpace projections. My brother called once, asking if I'd consider consulting. I declined politely. Not because I wanted them to fail, but because I finally understood that my presence had been treated as replaceable. It wasn't. One evening, my father returned. He looked older than I remembered. "What have we done?" he asked. There are many ways to answer that question. I could have listed sacrifices, calculated unpaid wages, explained opportunity cost. But none of that would change the decision already made. "You chose the wrong measure," I said. "You valued the name over the work." He nodded slowly, like someone hearing a diagnosis they already suspected. The cafe didn't close. It shrank. They cut staff, reduced hours. My brother adjusted, learning the parts he'd overlooked. Maybe he'll grow into it. As for me, I signed a lease last week for a small brick and mortar space near the station. Nothing extravagant. Just enough. Sometimes I miss the old place. The chipped tile, the corner table by the window. But I don't miss waiting for acknowledgement that never came. I thought loyalty meant staying until someone noticed your worth. It doesn't. Sometimes it means leaving so they understand it. When I unlock my own door now, the key turns easily. That feels intentional.